Here we are at Tate Modern for the opening of Anthony McCall's Solid Light. It's running now until April. It's a series of installations, light installations, that will take you on a bit of a mystical, winding journey through the space, which you are encouraged to interact with and be part of the art. We caught up with the show's creator, Andrew Brún, who's here to talk us through the show. Okay, here we are at Tate Modern for a brand new exhibition that's just opened today. Anthony McCall, Solid Light, and you are one of the curators.
That's right, yes. My name is Andrew Brún. I am I'm the assistant curator for international art here in Tate Modern, and very excited to be opening Anthony's work and inviting everyone to come and experience his Solid Light works.
We all got to experience a bit of him today because he came and did a brief introduction to the show and then he talked to us and walked us through it. What's it like for you working with the artist and having them in your company?
Oh my God, it makes such a difference to kind of really directly collaborate with an artist like this. And he's been so integral to the planning of the exhibition, the selecting of the works and mapping out of the space. And we've just been working with him for, God, it must be close to 2 years now, and kind of planning out what we were going to do and how to present his work to audiences in London and to really kind of contextualize what is one of the key works in the Tate collection. So Line Describing a Cone is his sort of key work from 1973 in the collection that we really wanted to shape the entire exhibition around, and to try and tell the story of how that work came to light and the kind of the legacy that it's had for the rest of his career has just been such a privilege. And we just enjoyed every minute of bringing the show to life with Anthony.
He is approaching his 80s now, and you are a very young buck. What's it like working with someone so senior to you?
Just incredible. I'm trying to be a sponge and absorb as much information as I can about him. We all have been. So we've had an entire kind of technical team of colleagues who have been kind of hanging off every word that Anthony says and recording everything that we have. So we have a kind of these incredibly detailed documentations about the work and how we can present it in future. We just think it's such a privilege to have him here. He's so knowledgeable. He's installed his work so many times, but he always has these incredibly interesting anecdotes or observations about what it was like to work in the 1970s and trying to deliver kind of solid light works and make solid light works without haze machines and relying on smoking cigarettes and trying to fill exhibition spaces up with cigarette smoke and dust. And to have that kind of that first-hand experience of him and all of the challenges that he's faced in trying to make these works has just been incredible to hear, and it feels like a really gratifying moment to be able to showcase so many of his works and kind of really cement him as one of the most important artists that we have in the Tate collection. So it's been great.
So these works, some of them are from his work in the 70s as an artist in New York, and you described he's putting these on in warehouses that are quite dusty and it's in front of his friends, and the way that the smoke interacts with the installation really adds a third dimensional effect. Here you're using dry ice. Back in the day you say it was cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And even Anthony tells the story about how he never even realized that he was so dependent on smoke and cigarettes. It was just sort of part of the everyday fabric of life and how he was showcasing works in 1970s New York. It was only when he went to install one of his solid light works in a gallery in Sweden where he realized that it was clean and smoking wasn't allowed, and he turned on the projector and it wasn't showing up, and he only then realized how dependent he was on smoke, and he started trying to smoke cigarettes to try and bring the cigarette, to try and make the work kind of be realized, and he ended up getting kicked out of the museum for smoking. So it was a fascinating anecdote, and it meant that he had to take a break from making work up until the technology caught up with him. So he took a break from kind of the mid-1970s up into the early 2000s, before the invention of haze machines and digital projectors that could live and survive with the haze. And it was only then that he started making work again. So it's a really fascinating story about how he revisited that practice.
Yeah, and then very literally ahead of his time.
Oh my God, exactly. Yeah, to think that he was trying to make work and that the technology wasn't there ready for him and he had to wait for technology to catch up with him is just an incredible sense of how ahead of his time he was. And it must have been incredibly frustrating for him to not be able to make the work that he wanted to make and just have to wait for technology to catch up with him. It's an incredible story.
So we walk into the main rooms and they're pretty dark. The walls are dark, the whole place is dark, but you have projections on all the walls in various shapes that are line drawn. kind of animated through dry ice, and then we're encouraged to walk through to then make these projections, these installations really come to life.
Yeah, exactly. And Anthony kind of describes it beautifully when we went through the space there. He sees visitors as almost being collaborators in themselves and performers, and that when you are looking at his works, you are also looking at people interacting with them and almost like performers. So it kind of veers into this realm of performance. And his works are kind of incredible when you see them. They are incredibly sculptural. You first encounter them and it looks solid. It looks like you are about to walk into something solid. And it's rare in a museum context to feel like you can encounter a sculpture and interact with it physically, and occupy it, the space, and kind of look around it and interact with it in such a playful and physical way. And it's something that, we're very excited to do. It's something that we're trying to encourage into the Tate Modern program, that sense of kind of performativity and playfulness, and that people don't have to be passive kind of engagers with art, but that they can come in and they can participate, and they can feel like they are experiencing something live and having a very live encounter. And it's a really unique experience to encounter something that is so sculptural, but also so ephemeral and so immaterial, and still so true to the kind of nature of film and the language of cinema. Anthony was very keen that we have all these nods to kind of cinema spaces. So the room is entirely carpeted, because cinema spaces typically are carpeted. And the lights are dimmed, as you say, but you get this incredible kind of sense of immersion when you come into the space and encounter the works for the first time. We're excited to see people in it, and we're just so grateful to see people engaging with them now. We've been kind of installing it for several weeks, and just excited for the moment when people can actually start weaving in and under and around these sculptures and seeing them in person.
Well, it's an absolutely fantastic show. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're so pleased. Thank you.
And good luck for the rest of the run.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.